That's something else too. You all allowed us room to grow, and you gave us enough room to grow. And that's what I want to do too, because there's no way I would be who I am if you all weren't tolerant of the process of learning. Like
Yes.
you all allowed us to like learn stuff, and that's crazy. Oh my gosh. All right. This is episode 16.2. And that means that there's a 16.1. Charlotte actually talked to mom about this journey that we're on. And so now I have dad in the room. And dad, what should we talk about today?
Well, we are going to talk about raising children who can be winners in life.
And how to give them a winning attitude.
Yes.
So one thing I will say is that you, of course, raised what? There's me, there's my brother, there's 3 sisters, so there's 5 of us total.
Yes.
And all of us think that we can do anything that we set our mind to. And that wasn't on accident. There were mantras. You had propaganda. I remember you had that one picture of you like it was like more like a Stalin picture in the living room, how you had your chest out and it was like red, gray, and blue. I remember that picture. Mm-hmm. And then how you just agree to that? There was no propaganda. It was just songs. It was "We Are Number One." I said, "We are number one."
Use that. I would always use that. Going to school, coming back home, we would sing that as a family. We are number one. We are number one.
I never asked you where you like. How did you decide to put those thoughts in our minds? Like, at what age did you kind of like say, okay, this is how I'm going to build my family. This is how I'm going to design my family. This is how I'm going to do that. Did you like? I don't know. Did it just come out naturally? You just when you got married, or was there any story that you can remember?
My life was the kind of like the boilerplate as to how I would have liked my childhood to be, and when it wasn't that way, I just made up my mind that when I have children, I'm going to do things to encourage them to be the best that they can be, because quite honestly, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And
is that how I feel like a lot of people say that when you are deprived of something, you make sure others aren't, like if you are, people who have been, for whatever reason, a lot of like not showing affection, they tend to be affectionate towards others because they know what it's like. Mm-hmm. And if you weren't given those words, then you made sure that you gave it to us.
Right.
Yeah.
The validation is so important. The children need to know that they are very, very important and that they are successful. They have success qualities. And as a parent, you want to bring those qualities out, but you first have to put them in.
Yeah.
And they have to know that you are very intelligent.
Yeah.
You are very, very accomplished. You have all of the attributes of a successful leader.
Yeah.
And you have to pound it in them.
Well, that's the one thing I know is that for sure you didn't ever give up on any of us. Like I remember if I were silly or if I were being immature or trying to like, make people laugh and all that stuff, like you would say, I'm going to ride this horse. What did you say? Something about riding this horse.
I was going to ride you like Secretariat in the Kentucky Derby.
Something, yeah. It was riding a horse, and something along the lines of like that made me realize that there was like you were going to keep going until our potential came out.
Exactly.
Which is, I mean, of course, looking back, it's hard to appreciate it while you're in it because it's a lot of lectures, it's a lot of reprogramming thoughts, a lot of unlearning, getting us to unlearn behaviors. Mm-hmm. But now it's like on autopilot, like it's just the software. It's almost hardware at this point. Yeah. Like I just know what I can do, but it's not because I made my own design. It was because you kind of like reprogrammed all of our brains. So I'm thinking about this. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I feel like I'm so confident with how I feel like things could go with baby girl with Ty is
Yes.
because I feel like I'm like, yeah, I talked to Charlotte. I'm like, no, I feel like I have a very clear vision of how to do this because of how you all did it. So that's a very long intro to say, what is there like a formula? Do you have like a secret sauce? Is it a little mayonnaise, a little ketchup, some pepper? Like,
It is consistent love, affirmation, mixed with discipline.
yeah,
There must be discipline because you have to keep the expectations high. But if they don't achieve what you expect at that time, never give up on them.
yeah, you don't really give up on it on family ever. I've actually, that's really impressive. There's a picture that I have in my office of you at one of your jobs, I guess, when you were working for I forgot who you're working for, but it's basically you sitting down in front of the computer, and you must have been in your mid 30s. And all I see when I look at that picture is I was probably 1 or 2 years old or something like that, and you were at work, and you were just doing the work of building and keeping a family kind of working. But when I look at that picture, it doesn't look like anything but a normal day. But the normal days compounded upon normal days compounded upon normal days, it ended up having exponential results because you never stopped for the family.
Well, that's another aspect of raising a child. And you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah, you are the king of sacrifice.
Yeah, but a sacrifice is is commensurate with an investment in the people that God has put in your care. And if you have been tasked with being the father, the provider, the protector, the guider, the final say, the head of the family, you have to follow the biblical principles of God, the church, the father, the family. And everybody in the family has to play a certain role, but the father has to instill in the children where they are to be in the future.
Yeah.
You have to say, this is who you are right now, but I see who you're going to be in the future.
Well, that's some pretty good vision you got there, because I was planning on running a different play growing up, totally different from your play.
Well, there's always going to be a difference, growing up as to what you want to do and what I want you to do and what you're destined to do.
Yeah.
They have to be revealed.
Yeah.
And God reveals to you and reveals to the family, the head and the mother, the direction that is pleasing unto Him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we try to keep it biblically sound, loving, and encouraging, and sacrificial in the sense that, man, I wanted to do a lot of things with my life.
Yeah.
But when I had children, I had to reevaluate what was more important, what I wanted in life, or who I wanted my children to be in life.
Yeah.
And I went with putting all of our time and our energy and our effort into raising children who were going to be productive contributors to society.
Yeah.
That's all we wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't want gangbangers. Certainly didn't want children in drugs. I didn't want children doing things that were unsavory or unpleasant or even especially illegal.
Yeah.
I didn't want that, but I knew that if I didn't want that, I had to have a presence.
Yeah.
You have to have a presence in a child's life if you want to be reasonably assured you'll get the desired result. There's no guarantees.
Yeah. I actually am a little concerned with how much I have to work, and knowing that the presence that I felt in our life with you all, it's the reason why we are who we are. And so, what do you think? And this is kind of off topic now. What do you think? So you know, long hours, more security, but at the potential risk of not being present. Like, how would you balance that? Because she's gonna watch this one day and be like,
Well,
"Wow,
yeah,
he really did have to think about this stuff."
that's important. You have to work, and you have in certain professions they require that you spend more time away from home than you would desire. So what I would say, make sure that the time that you have is quality time with your child.
Yeah,
Make sure that when you come home, that they know that daddy's there, mommy's there. I strongly encourage dining together as a family.
I like.
I
Yeah,
strongly encourage that.
Charlotte and I are doing that. Well, we've done that for our entire marriage. We try to like sit down and eat together.
That
Like,
is
don't
so
like
important.
bounce off and watch a movie by yourself or something like that.
Or
Yeah.
or you eat by yourself and then somebody else eats and then somebody else eats.
It's
No.
kind of like we kind of get offended if the other person just like, it's almost like we're not in this together. We don't eat at the same table. Like, yeah,
And another point, make sure that when you do eat as a family, but also give thanks
yeah,
as a family for the blessing that the Lord has blessed you with. Because it is a blessing to be able to eat a meal. There are a lot of people that
yeah,
can't have that luxury
Yeah.
of a good meal. And when you have it, you want to be thankful.
yeah,
But the children need to see that you are being thankful to a higher being.
yeah,
And they need to understand that that's why you do those things. You say your grace and
Yeah.
you say your prayers because you're acknowledging a higher being.
yeah, yeah. And so I guess if I were to summarize what you said to make sure I can lock it in into like digestible bits for the future, is be present, be thankful, and instill a winning attitude.
Yes.
But you said it in a way that I liked, and I probably have to watch the video over again to see. I think you were saying you instill it in them to then bring it out of them. How'd you say? You said something like that, because you said you place the character in them and then you have it come out somehow through these like affirmations, through these kind of like these statements that you know, have them know who they are, but at the same time, you're actually giving them that information as it's happening.
Right.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you never change. You feed them what you expect, but you continue to let them know that you expect
Yeah.
what you fed them.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
expect
yeah.
results.
Yeah.
You expect them to excel, and
Yeah.
you praise them for excelling, but you don't unduly punish them if they don't meet the mark at the time.
That's true. Yeah. That's, and that's something else too. You all allowed us room to grow. And you gave us enough room to grow. And that's what I want to do too, because there's no way I would be who I am if you all weren't tolerant of the process of learning. Like,
Yes.
you all allowed us to like learn stuff, and that's crazy. If you really think about how most parents will say they won't allow something to happen because they don't want the child to feel like stress or whatever, but like all that made us who we are, allowed us to have that winning attitude, because I know I can fail a million times because all I have to do is succeed once and I'm on to the next
There
level.
you go.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's important to take setbacks in stride, but if they have, some kids have an extremely competitive spirit,
Yeah.
and they don't like setbacks.
Yeah.
But you have to work with them to show them that it's a process.
Yeah.
And success is a process. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
It's a continual journey, and you'll go from one level of success to the next, but there'll be some setbacks. But you got to just get back up and keep on working towards the goal.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted you all to do. And I thank God that you all have done it. And I'm very, very proud of each and every one of you. And I know I'm going to be proud of Ty Isadora Evangeline Mack.
Well,
I'm going to be proud of you, little Ty.
if I've never said this in public, I'm going to say it now. I would not be anything that I am today if it weren't for you all's continued sacrifice, continued just presence, and continued support. It was unlimited. And yeah, here we are.
Well, I'm glad we're here. And I just want to say publicly, I'm very proud of you. Extremely proud of you. Extremely proud of Charlotte. And I am excited for little Ty's future because I know she's going to have a great, wonderful future because she has great, wonderful parents.
Well, that's a little bit of a tearjerker. Episode 16.2.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
I like that. I got to put that in my joke book. Thanks for having me. No, thank you for having me.